It's done. It is over. Finally, we can breathe. We can all celebrate, walk off into the sunset, literally as it's summer, and breathe easy and just enjoy life. Because that was the last Chelsea game of the season. That was the last Chelsea game of the 23 season, the 22-23. It was horrendous, but we survived. And no one can ever chat to us again about being spoiled. I'm sorry. We've gone through the trenches. This is the trenches. This is what your grandfathers would have told you about. The olden days. You know, the days where we were really grafted and grinding for every singular point. This is what we will tell our grandkids about when they're spoiled and they've won trophies and they've felt the real Chelsea. They haven't felt it like us though, because we this season, relegation rhythm. But no, seriously, thank God it's over. I needed that to be done and dusted the way it was. And to be honest, today, in isolation, actually a competent performance, especially against the Newcastle team that have been high flying this season. Obviously, there's a couple of changes in that midfield with Gordon coming in. Somehow we allowed this man to score. We'll talk about that. But in moments, control. In moments, actually passing to each other in the second half, possession and chances created. We ended that game with 65% possession. There were moments where we had little spells and I was like, wow, this is quite incredible. What an intriguing team this could be next season under Poch with the right players kept and left. But obviously at the end of the match, most importantly, the goodbyes were given. The Loftus-Cheeks, pause. He waved goodbye and it's clearly the end of his time, clearly the end of his Chelsea career. Very, very clear. And Azpilicueta as well, the same, waving to the Matthew Harden end as well at the end of the match. Clear that he's leaving. Well, listen, his contract expires in 2024, but I'm sure some mid-table potential Spanish team will pick him up and give him a couple more years in terms of first-team football, so I'm sure he'll be leaving as well. I don't think the goal would be to keep him as a third-choice right-back behind Gusto and Reece James, so it wouldn't make any sense. I'm sure he'll be going. But the rest of them, kind of up in the air. They don't really know their futures, so they couldn't really maybe give good solid goodbyes. They don't know what's going on. Mason Mount, there was questions about him. Obviously, he didn't feature today. Came off the bench and did kind of clap the fans at the end of the match. But again, it wasn't really the send off because we don't know what's going to happen with him. So strange for most of them. But a lot of sales are happening for sure. A lot of players are leaving. That's clear. And we need that. It has to happen. There's too much in this squad. There's too much players with unclear futures. Too many players that really, to be honest, they've had their time at this football club. They've had their opportunity to try and achieve all they can. Not saying that we've always given them the best surroundings and the best environments in terms of the upheaval and the changes that sometimes are forced upon us with the takeover, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Now, in this match, we had 22 shots. We had 22 shots and 65% possession. We actually went out dignified, and it was a massive improvement for what we saw in midweek. Couldn't really get any worse. But it was tough in that first half to see Azpilicueta versus Saint-Maximin, and obviously Trevor Chalobah having to come across as well at times and dealing with the interchange of Saint-Maximin and Isak. Very, very difficult combination to deal with. Very good with their feet, both of them. Good close control, ball carrying ability. So it was a rough day. It was a tough time out there. But in the end, only one goal conceded. I'll take that. And like I said, a solid, respectable result for once. But good to see Madueke as well on that right-hand side. It's very clear for me that Madueke's shooting is a part of his game that needs refining, needs improving, needs coaching. And that's going to be one of the big tasks next season for Poch and his staff is to coach Madueke and Mudryk in particular with their shooting, because we are going to need goals from them. I'm not expecting Mane, Salah numbers or levels, but we do need them to contribute with goals in that front three. If it does become that, of course, that centre striker will be the centrepiece, will be the main reliance of goals, but they've got to contribute. They've got to bring that efficiency and effectiveness to their game. But Madueke, regardless of his shooting technique right now, at least he's taking those shots. At least he's confident enough to give give it a go. And to be honest, he's on the ball. He is always causing a problem or two. He's a massive danger 1v1, and he put the ball in some dangerous areas today. We should have scored more than the goal. That is rinse and repeat. That is normal. I say that every single match. We should have scored this. We should have scored that. We never do. We can't finish. Sterling had opportunities. The goal that was actually given to us on a platter, right? Thank you. I mean, yes, it was our own doing. We did, put the pressure on, but the way that it ricocheted off Trippier's hand and then off his foot, or off his foot and then his hand and ended up in the back of the net, it was the hand of God. It was Diego Maradona. It was Thierry Henry. It was, it was a gift, and thank you for that gift. But we need to learn how to do it ourselves the whole way. We need to go the full extent, put the ball in the back of the net, ourselves without having our little handheld. But one day we will get there. Good to see Carney come off the bench. I was annoyed that Carney didn't start. I mean, to be honest with the lineup, am I really going to give you the energy of anger at this stage of the season? No, I'm not. Yes, it's not perfect. I would have preferred probably Carney to start ahead of Gallagher in that midfield three. Loftus-Cheek brought a little bit of balance for Enzo, and he got his goodbye. Aspie, maybe could have took him off in the 28th minute, carried him off the pitch like Drogba, I don't know, to kind of like, you know, symbolise his number on the back of his shirt. Could have done that, so he didn't have to prolong the gasping for air against St. Maximin for the entire 90 minutes. But listen, again, a few little changes here and there I would have done, but overall, Kai Havertz played as a fourth centre midfielder today, dropping extremely deep, but no presence in the box. He's not a striker, of course, naturally, but there was no presence in the box at times from him. And yeah, Sterling was dangerous, but, you know, didn't have the finishing touch. Felix comes on, nutmegs a couple and a couple shots over the bar. Good opportunities for Felix, to be honest, when he come on. Free kick, but the header and the shot as well, over the bar, wide of the post, really good opportunities. So again, like I said, we could have scored more goals, should have scored more goals, but this is the history of the Chelsea. This is the recent history of the Chelsea. We don't take our chances, we don't finish, and that is a big thing for Poch to improve on. But when you see the likes of Carney and Lewis Hall, we have to speak on Lewis Hall. Again, very encouraging performance, arguably man of the match. I'm trying to think of who else I would give it to. Lewis Hall, 18 years old, playing in that left back position, not his natural position, but as we were saying on stream, we've seen players, you know, play one place in the academy and move to a different position in the future. Whether you're going for the Sakas, who started at left back in the Arsenal team, moved to right wing, talking about the Gareth Bales, started at left back for Tottenham, moved to the right wing of Real Madrid. You keep going on and on and on about the kind of progression and the changing of positions of young players as they progress through their careers. You never know what's going to happen with Lewis Hall. Played in central midfield in the academy, now he's playing left back for us. I wouldn't say conclusively that's where he's definitely going to play, because there are injuries in that position and he's only 18. But the delivery, the crossing recently has kept me alive. Him and Enzo Fernandez's passing ability, vision, and just weight of pass, speed of pass. Oh, these two, they have kept me going. When I've been on my last legs, when I have needed the tube, do you know what I'm saying, to feed me, because I have not eaten, I have been starving, do you know what I'm saying? But I am now, with the crossing of Lewis Hall, I am seeing chance creation that we've lacked with Reece James being out. And he should have had about 3 or 4 assists in the last couple of games. And it's a shame that we can't put the ball in the back of the net when the ball does come in, because this guy, constantly delivery, just on point. And yes, defensively, you know, 1v1, he's going to be a 50-50 player. He's going to get caught out at times. That's natural. I'm expecting that. But just in terms of a young talent that has something to him, some potential, good technical security under his belt, can receive it. It does give it away cheaply at times, but again, it's not really a massive shock to me. Just there is something there with Lewis Hall, and it's worth investing in. And like I said in the last video, we have a very complex situation at left back. We've given Chilwell a new contract, injury prone. Cucurella first season, very poor, but big long contract. Lewis Hall, Ian Maatsen, probably in terms of technical, you know, potential, they're the highest, they're the youngest, they're free, they didn't cost a thing, but contracts are running out for Ian Maatsen 2024, and it's a massive clog up in that position. So we're going to have to be ruthless, or I don't know what we're going to do, to be honest. It's a difficult situation, but there is talent there. But yeah, like I said, you know, the substitutes come on, Pulisic comes on, chance as well for him to net, doesn't do so, he's leaving, I'm sure. Ziyech doesn't really feature, he's leaving, I'm sure. So yeah, it's at last, guys, the season's done. I am so relieved and I'm so happy, man. I mean, I would have thrown a party here, but I'm exhausted. I would have thrown a party, I would have had confetti, balloons, you know, everything popping and flowing, the bottles, the drinks, but I'm just so tired. I need to lie down. I need to get my head right for the review, of course, in the coming days when we look back on things and we talk about the cons and the pros of our situation and what we... Because there are some things to take next season. There are some players that I am actually genuinely looking forward to seeing next season under Poch. It's not all doom and gloom, but most of it is. In terms of a lot of the performances this season have been damn right atrocious. A long clear out, a long list of names. That video will be ruthless as ever. And yeah, I just can't wait for the bleeding. The bleeding has finally stopped. We've been pouring out, you know, the wounds. I've been taking hits. You've been taking hits. We've been taking hits and licks. Belted, beaten, bruised, but Mother has finally stopped punishing us. And no, I'm joking. But finally the bleeding has stopped. And finally, we can say we made it. We made it out. We made it out, guys. We have gone through a disastrous season, and no one can say that we haven't gone through the mud, because we have. liquidation, administration, nearly relegation. It doesn't get any tougher than that. We are the humble ones. We are the humble ones. Football is a humbler, and Chelsea have been crumbling. So we've made it. We move, and yeah, Poch is announced as well. Fabrizio kind of confirmed that, which was great earlier today. So now we move into the next season. We're going to be covering all the finals. Conference League, Europa League final, FA Cup final, Champions League final, Under-20 World Cup final. Watch-alongs for all of those. Those are the final watch-alongs of the season. But Chelsea's done. Transfer videos and breaking news, of course, is coming. But yeah, it's going to be good. In a bit, people, big up your damn selves. Make sure you subscribe, smash up the likes. And I'll see you guys in the mix. I can't even speak anymore. I'm so tired.